tradition that one specially feeds one's birds on Shabbat Shira, the Shabbat of song, when one reads about the crossing of the Red Sea. But actually birds are part of all God's creatures, and I believe we should look after them every day of the year. And suburban gardens are one of the best habitats for birds now, who are often imperiled in farmland. So there are different ways to feed the birds, and one of them is fat balls. You can see here this fat ball feeder, which is accessible, and I'm going to put over it this grid or barrier, because otherwise the squirrels and the pigeons will feast, but here now the little birds can get through and the big birds can't. So that means that they'll go to the tits and the finches and the goldfinches and even the woodpeckers. And here now is a stand. It's a kind of feeder position, and you can see that it's reasonably high so that the cats can't get it. It's got clear view around it. The birds take a risk when they come to feed, so they want to be able to look in every direction and make sure there's no danger. So it's clear of obvious sort of hiding places for predators, and it's in reach of the window because it's also nice to be able to see the birds when we're sitting at the kitchen table. Another feeder we have here is a classic seed feeder. It's got, here these are sunflower seeds that we've got from Wild Bird Food. The best place actually is to get them from the RSPB, the Royal Society of Protection of Birds. I'll just put a little bit more in. I tend to fill it first thing in the morning when I'm saying my Birkot HaShachar, my morning blessings, and I'll hang it here. But this is not ideal. I have it while I'm cleaning a bigger feeder, but come and follow me to perhaps something a bit better. Is one of a number of kinds of squirrel-proof feeders. Nothing squirrel-proof is foolproof, but if you have a look, the way it works is that when the light bird comes, they can pick the food out of here, but when a heavier bird comes, or a squirrel, it pulls this down and it shuts the access to the seed. Now, sometimes they do manage to get in. The other skill that some of them have got is the pigeon sits here, shakes this, and the other fans its friends nosh the food from the ground. It's very easy to fill. You simply take the top off, and now you have access. And let me just put some more in, and then I'll put it back up. You can also get the same kind of barrier that you saw on the fat ball feeder. Here we are. I'll hang that back up later, but I'll show you one more thing, which is, here's a bird's table. Now that's great for sort of more ground-feeding birds or birds who like something flat. Blackbirds would be a good example of that. I don't use it that much because actually there are so many pigeons around here and so many squirrels that they all get it first, but just occasionally I put food there or scatter some dried fruit, raisins on the grass for the blackbirds in particular. I'm very fond of them. And you can get from the RSPB a small kind of metal gridded sort of hut you can put over it to protect them from cats while they're feeding, and also it prevents our dog from noshing the raisins, which are poison for canines. So those are a range of bird feeders, and don't forget also to have clean water available. Not very clean at the moment, but the birds come to drink there, and even in the most cold weather they need to be able to bathe to keep actually their feathers watertight. So different kinds of food and water, and it makes the garden a wonderful habitat, and to see the birds is also a great joy.